Alright, so hello, me again. I'm gonna do another patch walkthrough for a piece I think I titled Strawberry Hill. Not really sure. Subject to change, but it's alright. Anyways, so patch walkthrough time. Let's bring the camera down. I'm using a mirror this time, which means I can just do this. And you can see what I have right there. Okay, so I think I should start off by just letting you hear the track. So this is what it sounds like. So that's that's it. It's quite a nice one, I find, anyway. I like it. Okay, so let's just go through the voices really quick. So we've got rings here, which sounds like this. Okay. That's just doing a little patch on the I can't remember whatever the green setting, which I think is the surface one, not the strings, but the surface one. Running it in duophonic mode, so you can hear two notes at the same time if they sustain over one another. Alright, so that's giving us kind of bassy tones as well as high twinkly ones. Turn the brightness up a little bit to give it a bit more articulation, though that changes throughout the piece. Alright, so then we have next the Dixie, which sounds like this. So Dixie is running through clouds here. Modulate that to either create more feedback or just let it be textural, which is what it mainly does. It's got an envelope generator here, so we can alter the way it articulates. So that gives a little bit of performability to the voice itself. And then we've got the Generate 3 as well. So that's what that sounds like. So Generate 3, much like the last time I did a walkthrough video, I have a bunch of envelopes coming from PAMs going to control the different values, level values of the fundamental frequencies, even frequencies, and odd ones, or odd harmonics, sorry, even and odd harmonics, yes. Now the core is going through the wave folder, controlled here. Marbles on this side here is triggering it with the T1 output, which lets me control how often I hear it. Marbles is also modulating the fold amount every time it triggers, which means each time it does, it sounds different. Alright, the whole thing is running through Prism. Yep, so that gives me a little bit of filtering, tiny bit of delay as well. Not a lot going on there, but it's handy. Now the other thing is the Squid Sample. I'm using the Squid Sample as a kind of weird delay, reverse FX type thing. So I think that's the first thing I'm going to talk about. So if we have all three of the other voices playing at the same time. Turn out the reverb a little bit. Now on my mixer, on the corner here, which I'll move, yeah. It's got a little monitor output here, and a monitor send. So that's pre-fader. So if I turn this off, it's still, or at least I turn the fader down, it's still being sent through the monitor. So what happens there is that it's going into the Squid's input, right? And it's being recorded, it's being gated to record 2 beats every 4 beats via the PAMs. So you see the way this little marker is showing up each time it's recording something. Go to cues, you can kind of see what's happening here. Now I have reverse turned on for it. So when we hear it, off for now. So there's a nice textural kind of thing going on. So I'm definitely using a lot of the EQ controls here to shape that sound. Let's keep it flat for now. So a fun way to generate some interest with this is that I have it set to quantize, right, by octave. So you can see there. If I twist the knob, it plays back whatever else is being heard in different octaves. So the vault per octave control here, we have the mimetic digital sequencing it, right? So I've programmed each one of these little areas here to give us a different octave, and I have a gate going to the random in, so I'll just turn that on. It'll bounce around different octaves. Which I think is a very pleasant effect, especially with the reverb. Just crank that up a little bit. So we'll hear that with everything else. You get that kind of effect, and I think it's really cool. Actually, I really like this use of the Squid. These are plugged in, but I'm not actually using them for anything. So yeah, this brings me to sequencing. So like I mentioned before, I had the mimetic digitalis doing a little bit of sequencing there. It's also sequencing a little voice coming out of channel 7 here. So that triggers every time octave switches occur. Yeah, which just adds some relationship between the octave switching and another voice. So I guess technically this guy is also a voice, well, acting as a voice other than the effect. But you know, little things. For the rest of sequencing, I'm using this, Keystep Pro. So I'll just turn this up. I think I'm overdriving my reverb there. Track 2, 3, and 4 sequencing the 3 voices. Now I have them all set to different lengths, or loop lengths, or sequence lengths. Yeah, different sequence lengths. So what that means is that they phase in and out with one another, and they don't ever really sound the same. And to add a little bit more variation, you see this randomness knob here. What that really is a probability knob. How often, what's the likelihood of that note triggering every time it passes by. So I have all of these set to varying degrees of probability, and that can be changed during the performance if I wanted to, but it's a bit fiddly. So in any case, it helps you control density, general note density of the whole thing. Oh, if you're wondering why I have these here, these just correspond to the gate outputs. So this note sends out gate 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on when I'm on the drum mode. I'm not using that right now. So yeah. As always, I have Pams doing all sorts of things, providing little LFOs here and there. I've got one of them, well, 2 of them actually, 2 LFOs being sent to the Squid to control a high pass filter on the reverse effect, which is why you get that fading in and fading out in terms of the level and the general harmonic content. So that's what that sounds like. And so it kind of seems like it just does its own thing, this patch. And well, I think it does work pretty well, just, you know, generatively just leave it be and not touch it. There are a few ways that I found to play this piece, I guess. Right, it's the obvious. Adding a little bit of feedback with clouds there. You know, I can stop the mimetic digitalis from switching the octaves and do it manually. I can change the brightness of rings, which is handy. But the main thing that I found to be very useful when I'm playing this patch is the mixer. These EQ controls, you know, I could kill all the highs on the reverse signal, bring them up here, right? I'll compensate. Like that, kind of inverse them a little bit, so I don't crowd the various frequency bands. You can almost sort of mimic a band pass with the EQ. Perform it like that. Of course, the reverb mount is here, so you can play with that as well. Big part of the patch really is the reverb, honestly. And what that is actually it's an NTS1, a Korg NTS1, running a hall reverb on a send. Well, that really, yeah. Back here again. So yeah, I hope you guys liked that video. Hope it made some sense. Hope you got some ideas, maybe. The thing with the Squid Sample and the way that it do this strange delay reverse effect. I think it's quite an interesting thing. So give it a try if you have one. If not, then I'll see you guys next time, I guess.